Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another beautifully blessed, peaceful, prosperous, productive, and phenomenally powerful night. We are your hosts, Tori the Barber, the one and only, the only one under the sun, and the man with a plan, the man, the myth, the legend himself, FreeWill Code.
What's happening? Thank you and welcome to another edition of the FreeWill Podcast, where we create a community that normalizes growth. You know, for people like you and me, so we could be the best versions of ourselves, huh? What's happening to? How you doing today, my boy?
I'm good. I'm cooling. I'm moving and grooving. What's good with you, big dog?
Yeah, man. We in this thing. We in the building. You hear me? Got my get up hat. Why? Because it's time to get up. Stop laying. It's time to get up. Yeah, man. How was your day today?
Man, my day was a pretty damn good day, to say the least. I had a crazy night last night. It wasn't a bad crazy night. It was a good crazy night. I was just telling you about it a few minutes ago. I ain't gonna put people business in the streets, but you know. But it was a pretty good night. My cousin, actually, that I just met for the first time. He not from New Orleans. Everybody else was from New Orleans. He was born and raised in Houston, though. But anyways, I got to meet him, so that was pretty cool. And it was his birthday, so he was doing what you call that thing, karaoke night. We were doing the karaoke night, and that was pretty damn cool, man. And my lady went through, and we put on for the city, you dig? But yeah, that was that. So this morning I was recovering from that a little bit. Didn't make it to church, but I went online, so I still kind of made it. And so yeah, it was dope. Today was just a smooth day, to say the least. It was cool. It was an off day, chill day, slow motion. What about you, Cole?
Yeah. Man, my day was I kind of had not a similar nights, but a similar morning, right? Definitely didn't make it to church today. I went to bed kind of late. Decided to stay up and watch a movie with moms. You know, I don't usually. Sometimes she be talking about. She be like, "Y'all never watch TV with me no more." So I'm like, I'm gonna just go ahead on and whatever it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know, late whatever. Something gonna shake. Actually, two movies I'll put out there, right? So one of them, both of them, you gotta be. I guess you have to be in tune with whatever it is you have to be in tune with to feel for our culture, right? So one of them is Rob Peace, really good movie. And the next one is The Piano Lesson, right?
Okay.
Which
I feel like
stars.
I heard about that one too.
And listen, Denzel Washington's two sons are involved. David Washington is a producer, and I forget the brother's name. I'm sorry. David Washington is an actor inside the movie. He's actually the main character. And his other son actually helped produce the movie. So it was amazing, man.
That's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. They are definitely paving their own way. This is not a situation where they in a building just because they of the dad, right? Yeah. Of what their dad has done for the industry, but very, very talented. Highly recommend you guys check that out.
So real quick, Cole. Wait, no. Well, I don't want to get off. We're gonna come back to the Rob Peace, but finish what you how your day was.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, right. You getting to know me. Yeah, man. Everything. Right. After I woke up this morning, called church online. And I did my reset. I usually do my reset at night, but it kind of conflicts when we start to record. So I did it this morning. Washed all my clothes, took my notes, did my reflection of the week, which I should do much more often because it introduces a lot of clarity into your life, right? But yeah, man, one scene just came from my grandma, so definitely a recharging day today, you know what I'm saying? But I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful for my grandmother. Love her to death. Every time I go by my grandmother, I get inspired, because she definitely loves my company, and she loves food. Almost all we talk about is food when I go over there. But she always inspires me because my grandma, I'm not gonna be able to spend time with her forever. So it just reminds me immediately, like, and I wanted to have better things, before she leaves this earth. I want to have a certain experience. So when I go by, I definitely get pumped up and excited. You know what I'm saying? So I had that, seen her, and now we in the building for another one. You dig?
You heard?
You know what I'm saying? Listen, my mind all over the place.
I watch you. I'm like, you didn't forgot you.
Listen, to be honest, bro, I got so much stuff on my mind. Just like that weekly synopsis brings a lot of stuff in perspective, and I kind of been in deep thought today. But nevertheless, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my grandmother. I'm grateful for Guy. Guy is, he never ceases to amaze me when I allow him to amaze me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like, it's just, that's the thing. Whatever. I'm grateful for my moms. I'm grateful for my lady. She holding it down. I spoke with her today. She's definitely creating her own path up there. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for my man Toe in the building. You hear me? So we've been doing this thing for a minute now. It's my dog, man. It's my dog right there. You hear me? But I'm grateful for that, man. What you grateful for that? What you grateful for today, Toe?
All praises to the Most High first and foremost. I'm definitely grateful to be in the building again. I was thankful to wake up this morning. Even though I didn't feel my best, nonetheless, I was still grateful to wake up. I woke up and I was feeling the effects of the night before.
Yeah.
And so I got a juicer that I be juicing. And I looked up a recipe. I said juicing recipe for hangovers. And I found the pretty fire recipe for y'all who juice that watch this. If you wake up with a hangover, you got just some. And I so happen to have just about everything that it needed. I think they might have put parsley in it, but I didn't have that. Fresh parsley. But cucumbers, I use 2 lemons and a lime. Ginger and green apples, the Granny Smith green apples, the sour apples. So put that up in there. And I ain't gonna lie, it started shaking me back, dog. Like within like an hour, I felt it. I felt pretty good. So definitely did what it was supposed to do. I didn't have that drowsy day, just when you the crazy hangover day. But
I wonder what about it, like I wonder what about it, like what about it, brings you back to life? What in the ingredients shakes you back?
Well, I'm not sure exactly, but I do know that cucumbers are very hydrative. They're like 97% water or something like that. And then on top of that, they're actually packed with a lot of electrolytes. You have a lot of electrolytes in. Like if you ever want like a natural sports drink or whatever the case is, how people drink Powerade and all that stuff for the electrolytes, but cucumbers have a lot of electrolytes. It's really highly electric fruit. So that's part of the reason, I'm sure, because of the cucumbers. And then the ginger does something to, ginger.
Oh, see, I missed the ginger.
Healer. Yeah. So I had the ginger in there, and that helped put me on the map too. And so just me just consuming the fruit juices. It's just hydrate my body and get me back where I need to be.
Yes, sir.
Probably kind of helping flush my system a little bit, but I'm thankful for that. I'm also thankful for the first lady, my queen, my everything in between. That was the wrong button, y'all. That wasn't right. But I'm thankful for the first lady, man. Super duper supportive, love her to death. Just being a part of this process for me, this thing called life. I seen something I posted. I don't even post. I don't post a lot. But I posted something on Instagram a couple nights ago, and the post was saying that your wife is the most important person. And it was listing. It says like your mama love you because you're her son. Your siblings love you because they're your brother. Your kids love you because you their daddy. But your wife chose you. You see what I'm saying? So that just gave me an alternative perspective and a deeper appreciation for her, because you know I didn't show up complete. I'm still not complete. I'm not perfect, and with everything that I come with, she chose me, and she chose to deal with it, put up with it, work through it, work with it, and I'm super duper grateful for that. So anybody who dealing with anything relationship wise or whatever, man, you know, if you showing up for them, they showing up for you. You choose them and they choose you. And to be worth choosing, somebody chose you because you was worth choosing. I'm thankful that I was worth being chosen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful for her on that tip. Shout out to my parents. I'm grateful for them having 2 healthy parents, 2 alive parents, and I am just thankful my kids, Kaisley and Nevaeh. My wonderful clients. I come on here as Tori the Barber every week. You know, it's the same skit. You know, come on here as Tori the Barber every week, so it's only right that I shout them out and include them. And I'm just thankful for everything that went right, everything that's going right, everything that's getting better, all the restoration in my life that's taking place, the construction. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thankful to be here for another one. Episode 24. Is that right? Did I get that right? Episode 24?
Yep.
We in the building, cool, man. We knocking them down, bro. We knocking them down. So I'm thankful for that, bro. But now that we got the gratitude out the way, Mr. Cole. Now that we got that business clear,
I can do that too, you heard? Stop playing. Stop playing.
That's what we're gonna do. I need everybody to bow your heads. Music down. And give a moment of silence for you.
Yep.
Thank you. Welcome to the platform. Welcome to the family. For them brand new subscribers. Come on, Cole. What we moment of silence for what? For who?
Listen. The brand new subscribers and the ones who get post notifications. Yes, Lord.
Yes,
you know
Lord.
Yes, Lord. I appreciate y'all. If that box ain't checked, go ahead and check it off. If you don't have an ED or a D behind that subscribe, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Welcome to the family. People who are still here and still support us. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna be here every Friday, 8:30. You heard?
Yes, sir.
Man.
Well.
Man.
Without further ado, let's drop that. Word on the street. Word on the street. Word on the street.
There has been talk about World War III. It's crazy, right? So the Ukraine, right? Ukraine's former military commander in chief, Valery Zeluzny, is I hope I said his name right, but he went in front of some people and kind of declared World War III, right, saying that Russia's involvement in and their allies involved in, because it involved with helping them, kind of aid helping Ukraine in the battle and stuff, kind of has started World War III, right? That's just how he feels. Now my point, because I didn't do too much research on this, but I just, it made me feel a way when I heard it. And I had to ask myself, like, what would I do today or tomorrow if the world goes to war? And what would that look like? What would suddenly be important to me? And if I have to go tomorrow, what would I have left behind? You know what I'm saying? And most of those answers I didn't like, we live in that world where everything is, we're pretty much comfortable. We can kind of, we live in a world where you can be at home all day and make a living for yourself. You don't have to even move a muscle, right? So it kind of disturbs immediately our way of life. And I don't know if we would be prepared for that, given the way we currently live our life now. You know what I'm saying? What you think about that too?
Exactly what? Your thoughts are just like what, with the same thing you kind of ask yourself.
Yeah, so like, what, like me now, and I'll answer it first, right? So me now, like, you know, I kind of ain't no procrastinating if you gotta hurry up and get out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I guess I'll leave. You know, I might. And ain't no forgetting nothing. You know what I'm saying? There's no some things it's life or death, and if you don't execute, you're gonna die. You know, and you know, in the life that we live now, some of us, we may go an entire day without execution. You know, so that makes me feel like vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And so what my question to you is, what do you feel about that vulnerability? Like, how does that make you feel? You know what I'm saying?
If you had to protect
if like, you know, you had to protect your family, like, what's your, like, how do you feel your integrity is, you know, being able to withstand something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would you do? What would be your mindset?
Oh man, I think it just, honestly, it just really would depend on, I don't know what it's like to go through a world war. You know what I'm saying? Or nothing crazy. Now, if you just asking just generally, I don't know. I going through a world war, I don't know what that'd be like, because you was like, you know, if you got to get out of there, you got to get out of there. You ain't got that much time, but where you gonna go?
Where you going? Yeah.
Think about it is like if stuff start dropping from the sky, you know, you don't know when and where and where it's gonna hit. I mean, it's a lot of land. It's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of land that to cover, you know, telling where it's going, where would it drop. Honestly though, you just gotta, I don't know, bro. You just gotta pray and listen. Find find somewhere to.
Let me introduce this perspective too, though. Right? There are some guys who are billionaires, right? And their answer to that question was, if it ever happened, I'm gonna be ready for it. Right? Because it's possible. Anything is possible, right? They have bomb shelters. They know where they're going. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And that's part of the mindset, right? I don't have that in place right now, so I'm gonna die straight up. It's gonna be a wrap for me unless I somehow then generated a connection or was in the right place at the right time. I wouldn't have control over that, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, it's really, you know, I don't take it personally. Like, I don't judge myself as much for my past actions for other, like, more than I would judge my future, because I don't come from that. Like, ain't nobody prepared in my family probably. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the way the culture is. But, you know, like, that bothers me. You know what I mean? Like, if at that means that something can happen today or tomorrow where, like, my life is ended, you know, and, you know, if God says so, then so be it. But if that's something I can do about that, I'd like to possess the balls to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I just like, oh man, that ain't never gonna happen. You're like, you don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's
I feel what you're saying though. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that anything is possible, and then that's something that we don't really think about. You already got enough stuff going on. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
We worry about on a day-to-day. So I can see how, you know what I'm saying, that it didn't. So there's this guy named Billy Carson, and he is a lot of different things, but he have different literatures on like forbidden knowledge. That's like one of his books, I believe, is called Forbidden Knowledge. But anyways, Billy Carson, he was talking about how he have an underground civilization that he built, that he funded, that he it's like a small town. I think he said it could fit up to like 300 people or something like that, to where they got like supermarkets and all this little different stuff. Like, they got a whole, so if anything like that was to happen, he one of the ones that that's, and I'm like, when and where and how do you build a total underground civilization, and how deep underground it is? Like, you got cars, we got everything. Like, I don't even understand how that worked.
Yeah.
But he said that's what they got. And so, you know what I'm saying, that does add a you know, we be trying to get to whatever we trying to get to, the live how we want to live, but you know what I'm saying, that is a huge vulnerability. We still at the mercy of, you know, the leaders of the country to handle their business so that peace could remain, and we don't have to face nothing like that. So
yeah,
hopefully and that's where you at. World War III, but you know.
Yeah, and that's where you at with it. You know, like, you're not. like and it may not bother a lot of people, but as a man, you know, who plans to have a family, you tell me that that's something that can be done, that can wipe all that away from you. That's not God, and you know what I'm saying, you can't do anything about it, right? That's, you know, it kind of bothers me, right? And you know, even not on a major scale like that, like we don't have stuff set up for the day-to-day that we claim we so worried about. You know what I'm saying? Like you with your family every day, but you probably don't got no life insurance. Right, like you driving like you ain't even got your will written up. Like you don't have no plan for your kids after you done got, like, you just kind of moving through life, and with everything you at the mercy of somebody else or circumstance. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that's just not. Hey man, hopefully I figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Well, not hopefully, I'm gonna figure it out one day. You know, but you know, that's I'm gonna put it out there though. You know, we're gonna put that thing out there so we can have that set up. You know what I'm saying?
I like that perspective, though, man. I like that perspective on that. So we just gonna keep our fingers crossed and hope we ain't got to worry about no World War III.
We ain't hoping nothing.
And just, we ain't hoping nothing. Well, do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do. That's what it is. Do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do, but I ain't gonna. But shit, listen, let me tell you something. I'd rather not go that way. You know what I'm saying? But if it do, then it do. But outside of that, Mr. Cole, let the people know what we talking about today. Let the family know. I don't want to say people. That was cheesy. Let the family know what we discussing today.
Yeah, I like that. Let the family know, huh? So often I, you know, find myself in situations, and a lot of people around me, we find ourselves in situations, you know, where we just like, we don't like what's going on, you know what I'm saying? Maybe in our life or in particular situations. We don't like people. We don't like the way things are set up. You know, it's kind of sparked my interest in the word on the street. But, you know, it's like I'll be in a situation and I find myself helpless. But it's not necessarily because I'm not willing to do anything about it, or maybe I don't know what to do about it. But it is basically just my perspective on that thing. You know, and what I really was doing was taking it too personal. You know what I'm saying? And I have to constantly tell myself that it is, Ja'Cory, not about you. Right? So today we'll be talking about the phrase, it's not about you, and what that means, and how we do these things subconsciously, and how it affects our mind, and, you know, how we can eventually move forward from it, right? So first things first, man. I want to talk about some triggers, right? Some triggers for me, just to kind of, like, I find out that's how I get the best out of myself when I go into the things that kind of get me riled up. And some of my triggers too is taking things personal. Is probably the me not being thought about thing, right? Like let's say I might not get thought about or something, or I'm sitting over here and it's like, we talked about this before, right? Where it's like I'm sitting here and I'm in the, you know, I'm doing something, and then somebody come and ask something of me, and I'm empty, and they're like, yeah, you know, do that for me, right? I don't get asked how I'm doing. I don't get, you know what I'm saying? And I immediately take it personal, like, man, this person don't care about me. But to be honest, they do that to everybody. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that just to you. You know, like, you think you special, and you think that, you know, because your name Ja'Cory, they're gonna come and not, like, there's a lot of people, probably everybody in their life, they don't think about, or, you know, go above and beyond with, right? So you know, the first thing is identifying those, man. Like what about you, man? What are some things that you typically take personally that you are dealing with at the moment, in the present moment?
Let me see. So I'm thinking, because immediately what came to mind was I was thinking about, I was kind of skimming through my thoughts of just like my pet peeves of like business. You know what I'm saying? I got this thing when I have like a client that it'd be like a scheduling thing, you know what I'm saying? And just not, I guess you could just say, wrap it up in a nutshell, it's just like when people don't value my time. And I understand that communication, I mean, I understand that life happens, but just communicate about it instead of waiting like 5 minutes before your appointment time and then try to cancel we 15 minutes in 20 minutes into the appointment time, I haven't heard from you, and then you calling and saying like, I'm on my way, I'm coming from this, that, and the third. Like, the time to let me know you was running late was 30 minutes before the appointment started. So I guess in a nutshell, you could kind of just say there's just a lack of communication. It ain't just so much about playing with my time, it's just a lack of communication around it. You know, so communication failure for me is a big thing, and that could be in personal, or that could be in business. But that's kind of like a thing for me.
And like something that's a perfect example, bro, because I think it hides most inside of our like kind of like survival instinct, if you will. Like, like we have to make it. Like, we got to figure it out. Like you got appointments, you know what I'm saying? And you may have those appointments set up to where you need to make a certain amount of money today. And you not being here on time is interfering with that. Right? So inside of our instinct, right, it's easy to immediately lose focus of the perspective that we're talking about, that we're going to get into. And it's like, okay, because you are directly affecting that. But the second half of that is, if I let you. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what we gotta kind of get into, you know what I'm saying? But the real meaning, like, or I guess my North Star, right? My North Star is, I kind of identify what happens, you know what I'm saying? Or what the truth is what I wanted to say. Identify what the truth is, and that has to be my North Star. Like, I gotta, like, you gotta have it somewhere where you can go and realize, like, hey, this not really about me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So naturally, actually, we take things personal, right? And let's talk about some of the day-to-day things that I might take that we might take personal, right? One of them is if somebody don't reply to the message, you know what I'm saying? You text somebody and they don't reply to it, right? Yeah. Like, yo, why you not, you know what I'm saying? Like, why you taking so long to reply to my message? Like, he don't think I'm important. Like, you don't know what's going on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that person could have gotten to, or they couldn't have seen it. Or listen, maybe they might be not, but you don't know that, right? So you serve yourself when you are, hey, I don't know what's going on. Either I'm gonna call this person, if they don't answer, then I'm gonna move on from that. I'm not gonna place any perspective or assumptions on that situation, because that's what it would be. Yeah, it would be assumptions. You know what I'm saying? Another one is like being left out of like social situations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like such and such had a party, they had a gathering, and I didn't get invited. Yep. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like that's one of the ones right there. I mean, especially when you feel like, maybe, I don't know, if it's a person feel like they close enough to the person to where they should have been personally invited. Because I've seen a situation like that evolve, where it was, I think I might have had a situation like that. I don't know if it was my event or what, but I think I was trying to call the event, but I think me or somebody, I might be confusing it. But the information generally was like put on social media, like boom, party location, this what we doing, whatever, right? Now everybody follow, you know what I'm saying, as far as they know, like all my people who follow me on social media, but there was a situation where somebody felt like they was left out because it's like, bro, I don't be on your Instagram, I don't see, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I should have got a hit up. You should have hit me up and like, yo, invited me, you know what I'm saying, and whatever. So that's the situation. But hey, people, I don't know, that's kind of weird to me a little bit. Like, I feel it, you know what I'm saying? But people got a life, and if I'm throwing the event, I'm busy doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm not worrying about who individually I'm gonna make sure that I, you know what I'm saying, I invite. So it's just another one of those things. So don't take it personally.
Yeah, for sure, man. And what it really comes down to, and a lot of people not gonna like this, but when you think like that, that is a form of self-centered thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the center of it all, and it's because of me. But it's not. It's not your world you live in. You know what I'm saying? The house you was living in, the apartment you in, somebody was probably in that before you. Like, it's a process, and you were just a small piece, but an important piece in it, right? And I think what we gotta do towards like break down like what I like for instance, the friend who didn't text me back, right? I'm worrying about my importance because I feel like I'm important. That person is maybe overwhelmed or something like that. Like they got something going on, right? And my shift needs to be like, I am important. Like, first of all, nobody can determine your worth or what you got going on but you and God. That's a principle. That's out the way. Somebody can directly tell you, hey, you're stupid. It means nothing, right? Unless they, you know what I'm saying, judging your actions and it has some fact around it. But like, no one should, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. Like, you can't judge another person's actions, or you don't know what they're thinking, right? So you don't know what they're thinking, and you cannot place an assumption on somebody else's action, right? So if I don't, like, until that person texts me back and I ask them, hey, what was going on earlier, I cannot place anything on top of that. I can't, you know? And I think we so impulsive, especially me, I'm so impulsive. And another thing comes in there, right? Like, I got a habit of doing it now, too. Like you ain't call me back. I'm like, okay, that person done. I probably done, you know what I'm saying? My mama, Lord, she done blocked you and everything. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got a chance to explain yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not healthy, man.
Yeah.
It's not healthy, right? And you have to sit there and analyze the difference, like what you actually upset with. You actually don't feel important, but that person is not making you, they just press something. They just triggered something inside of you, right? You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's you gotta switch to thinking. And even if, like, this is a big one too, even if when they didn't invite me to the party on purpose, it's still not that they didn't invite you. You were just someone that fell into a certain category, and they're not good at communication.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So I guess you gotta get it like that.
I'm saying though, like because if they did the same thing to that person that they didn't, you know what I'm saying, they wasn't cool or whatever happened, they didn't communicate with them. So it's still not necessarily like that person is like, it's like you fighting that. You know what I'm saying? That's what you fighting.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you, like, whenever it comes down to whatever it may be, whatever situation or scenario that it may be, why do you think you personally take things personal?
I think it's just what I think mostly for me, man, is what I was saying earlier, like just the making sure I'm okay kind of thing. You know, and if you come in between like making sure I'm okay, yeah, it's like, but like you in between me being okay, like, and I'm like, in my mind immediately I'm like, oh, you don't want me to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a natural thing. You know, like somebody comes and, you know, tries to take something from your family. It really was never about you. It was the fact that they needed something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like so I don't get that. I wasn't getting that far. Like I'm stopping at the offense. I need to be protected. You know what I'm saying? I'm stopping at the offense, right? And I think most, like, that's what it'll be for me, you know what I'm saying, before the other stuff. What about you, man?
Well, I think in general, with me personally, according to the offense or the situation, I like that what you said, like being considered, you know what I'm saying? Because usually, in a sense, that's kind of tied in to it all, but I think, and especially with my research on just the things that I've studied that talk about like why we take things personally. Oh man, I just think that we, in a sense, or not even we, but me, I have a tendency to, maybe I think too much of myself in certain ways to where, you know, not looking, I guess, like what you said, not looking at it like from another person's perspective. Because I've been in situations and realized, like, well, when I really sit back and look, it's easier for me to like look at it like that when it's not me and I'm like, you know, somebody else around me having a situation. And I can always come up with like, hey, maybe it was, you know, maybe that's not why they did that, or maybe it was because it is. But for me, I don't even really be want to hear that. Like, it just be like, man, dude, tripping, you know, or this, that, and the third. It just be it just be taken personal. But like, for example, if somebody called like me out my name, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I was to personally get offended by that, it's crazy. But in some way, form, or fashion, I most likely have had some sort of agreement with that. I feel like in general, when you get offended by something, it's just, usually it's the lack of understanding too. It's just a big lack of understanding around the situation and not why the person did it or whatever the case was. So I think in general, it's kind of similar to yours in a sense at the basis of it. Going from a different angle though, outside of myself, you know, why people take things personally is, I think I actually heard Nick Cannon say this. He was like, most arguments and situations that take place is due to a lack of understanding. And some people just be full of themselves, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure I've had moments like that where I just felt like it was all about me, or it inconvenienced me, or whatever the offense was, or whatever, it was just an inconvenience to me. And because I had to make an adjustment that I wasn't prepared to make, I wasn't anticipating making, it disturbed me. And so that disturbance, I guess me getting angry or offended or upset about it was me kind of like being a grouch about having to adapt to a change. You know what I'm saying? That presented itself. Right. So that's probably why for me.
And I want to offer another perspective too, man. Like, cause maybe I don't directly see the being full of yourself affecting your perspective on other people's actions. I think it is definitely the understanding, not only the understanding of them, but understanding of us and how we work. You know what I'm saying? Because at the moment, I got stuff that I ain't even deal with, and I'm blaming me. Like, that's my whole, that's my entire process of thinking, right? The inflictor is the responsible. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, if I inflict it on me, then I'm responsible. I'm a bad person, instead of the ways that I move. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you be having that stuff, and you ain't even, like, you gotta free yourself from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because what we also doing is we taking and we holding it up. It's like a conveyor belt coming to us, and we supposed to be grabbing the stuff that's in front of us, but it's like maybe they got something coming this way, and I grab it and put it on mine instead of grabbing it and putting it back where it's supposed to go. Right? Because don't get me wrong, like, if let's say something happened and my family I'ma defend myself for sure. Like, you going, like, like my time, like, for your time, you have to place a deposit on that thing. So you can't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna be like, that person messed up. I'm gonna be like, I gotta do better with enforcing my time. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what would happen. I'm gonna blame them so much that I'm not even putting a solution for it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and I keep getting robbed over and over again when I should have just went down the back of the alley instead of keep going through the front the entire time. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
Major on the understanding piece. Like, understand how humans work, and in turn understand how you work, and like a whole bunch of stuff will get lifted up. From like, you only got to do one thing one time that deals with a lot of people, instead of doing multiple things multiple times and still dealing with a lot of people.
Yeah,
you feel me?
I feel that. Well, yeah, cool.
So moving on from that, man. Like, I like, let's just get big. I kind of started to talk about what the bigger picture is already, but you know, I think before that though is the process of, I gotta say that everything we will ever speak about, the way you handle it will always talk to how much you are healed within your experiences. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us, we got voids. You know what I'm saying? Like from childhood. You know, we got voids from mama, from daddy. And it may have not been ours to take naturally. Like you probably had your daddy, and your daddy was supposed to do some stuff, and you like, I wasn't supposed to do that anyway. And you die with that. And you wasn't wrong, right? Like, he should have been whatever. But the most powerful thing in the bigger picture is, it needs to stop, period. Not that your daddy was supposed to do it. Not that your mama was supposed to do it. Not that your partner was supposed to come through for you. The bigger picture is, it needs to be done. Somebody gotta change it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you know, you gotta be, I think what messes up most of us, bro, is we gotta be leaders in order for this to happen. Cause it's not happening, too. We live in a culture like that. Yeah. Like, this person did it. You know what I'm saying? They don't got this stuff together, so that means I can have my stuff together.
Yeah.
You feel me? What you think about that?
Something that came to mind for me is, you know, it may have not started with me, but it need to end with me. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
It's like, we be having a whole bunch of different situations, you know what I'm saying, internally. Like you said, from childhood and different things, and it's just traumatic situations and dysfunction. It just replicate itself. You know what I'm saying? Things that we normalized that wasn't healthy, you know, it replicate itself. You know what I'm saying? And it come out through us if we don't check it, if we don't put a stop to it. And you know, a lot of us are walking around wounded. A lot of us are walking around, you know, hurt, and then we just bleeding on people. We bleeding on everybody we come across. We bleeding on people in our relationships. We bleeding all over our kids, because we have some situations that we just didn't heal. We didn't take care of. We buried it. We try to hide it. We try to forget about it, but it don't work like that. So that goes into with them voids. Like, we be having them voids and stuff, but you know, it may feel like a void because you're trying to neglect it. You're trying to neglect that part of yourself, but you need to really, like, it's full. It's overflowing. You know what I'm saying? You need to go clean that out and address it and deal with it. You know, sometimes it's easier to just cut people off or ignore them, or the situation. It's easier to do that than it is to put up a boundary. To you know, kind of like show a person, like, this is what I'm going for, this is what I'm not going for. I'ma just avoid the whole situation altogether, instead of, you know, standing on it and working through it and commanding your respect, or commanding how a person is gonna be able to deal with you, for example. But we be having those situations, man. You had something else you wanted to add to that?
Nah, man, I'm about to tell you, like, to tell them though, man. Like, tell them, like, be real. Like, tell them that it's only easier in the moment. It's only easier in the moment, right? Like, it's not.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a fire perspective. It's easier in the moment. And at the moment we be confused. In the moment we be high off emotions. In the moment it might be in fight or flight mode. But that's the best time, a lot of the times, to deal with situations or to make the decision that you need to make the difference. You know what I'm saying? I understand that sometimes you need to kind of sit down and think and process and different things like that.
Yeah.
And that don't mean like while you're running for your life, you know, make the decision. No, not necessarily. I'm saying just don't let time go on. And this is me talking to me at this point, y'all. Just don't let time go on. Too much time going between. In other words, letting grass grow under your feet. Right? I got that from somebody else. Don't let grass grow under your feet with the stuff. You gotta make it happen. And you gotta work on yourself and make those changes. But to pretty much close up on the other thing that we was talking about, man. Because I know we kind of already shifted, but just kind of like seal that deal is just like that self-centered thinking. I think it kind of blends into what I was just saying. You know, when we have open wounds, we victims. We take things personally a lot of times too, because we already have pre-existing wounds like that. Like I can't help but to take it personal because, you know, my mama, when I grew up, my mama was calling me out my name. She was mean to me, or my caretakers was mean to me, and they mistreated and mishandled me. So when I get mistreated and mishandled by somebody else, it sent me back to my trauma. And I'm taking it personal because maybe in that point in time I was defenseless, right? Now I'm older, but I can't look at it. It's hard for me to look at it like it's not me. I'm not the reason why you treat me like this. It's really because you got some stuff you need to work out. Instead, it just remind me of that hurt, that pain that I've experienced, and that's why I get. That's why I get offended. That's why my feelings get hurt up. That's why, you know, you calling me out my name is so triggering for me. That's why when you stole something from me, it was so triggering. I ain't look at it like, you know, you just needed to feed your family, and that was the best. That was the best way you thought of, you know, or being compassionate. It's hard for me to be compassionate when I have things that I have learned to ignore, learn to shove in the closet and just lock away and not truly deal with it. And when somebody come knocking on that door or uncovering that trash, you know what I'm saying, and finding those soft spots in you that they don't even realize what they crossing into uncharted territory on, is, you know, they kind of get the heat for you not healing in those areas. I think that contributed a lot to why people take things personally, because it just be pre-existing damage. Yeah,
and understand that though, and understand like the pre-treated things means they're not treated. So often we find ourselves inside of the situation looking for the solution when you ain't never had the solution in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just expecting it to magically pop up in your pocket, right? Which means that I need to practice not taking stuff personal before I get to the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to heal before, like starting off on any journey, especially with this journey here, it's not gonna be pretty. Like, it's gonna be ugly. Like, you're gonna have to be like, oh, you know what? Come here, let me. Like, this is one of the hardest things. So like I didn't just did what I said I wasn't gonna do and didn't want to do, and I'm on top of, like, right now I'm there when I should be, like, how can I say this? Like, I didn't snapped on somebody, right? I snapped on them, talking about the, you know what I'm saying? I'm blaming them. I'm taking it personally, right? And I just had this conversation with myself and told myself I wasn't gonna do that anymore. After I come down from the emotion, it's there. What do you do right there, right? right there is probably one of the hardest, one of if not the hardest barrier in the middle of your progress, where you have to, while you trying to correct it permanently, you gotta start to correct the little things in between as you starting to get better, right? Like I need to, like after I done snapped on them, I need to be like, hey bro, listen, I'm sorry. I'm not even, I'm striving to be different. I apologize for being this way. This here may have been true, but the way I acted on it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And you not, like, listen, you not going to, like, you need to fully change, you need to embrace it in all areas. Why? Because how you do anything is how you do everything. And I can't be around here, you know what I'm saying, changing when I want to. You know what I mean? And so, like, and then, you know, next level from when you were talking about what you said that's something you just need to deal with, and, you know, not necessarily something on me. Next level to that is identifying, like, looking at my mom and being like, okay, that's not just a problem that she got, that's a problem that the mothers in the generation right now got. Like, that's not a mama problem. That's a generational mother's issue right now. And it gotta be changed, whether it's with my mama or not. So Big Dog coming from that level is being like, okay, I'm gonna do something to influence that change. That's the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not we got a problem with people robbing us. We got a problem with showing these little dudes how to provide for themselves in a legitimate way. Like, I need to put these little dudes in jail. They got little dudes growing up just like that right now, while you got the other ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's Big Dog thinking, right? And that's like it's so, that would be so rewarding, you know. And I understand a lot of people are not gonna think like that. But understand there, Jacora, is no complaints. There you have you've increased that margin of control. Like, you only really got, like somebody said, you only really got like 90% of control of the things that's going around, right? But that little bit of control, you can increase it a little bit.
What you mean you only got 90% of the control of the things?
I'm talking about your life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get out on the road, like when you wake up this morning, it's either cold or it's hot. You know what I'm saying? The lights either on or it's off. Like, you know what I'm saying? They either got a wreck on the road or they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as what's going on around you, you know, because it's not your world, like in perspective of everything that's going on, so like an entire universe, you know what I'm saying? As far as you concerned, you only got probably about 90% of that. I mean, you only probably got 10% or even less than that. I'm sorry.
You that sounds like a lot of control.
I'm sorry. So no, I'm sorry. Not 90%. You only got 10% of that control. You know what I'm saying? And you can increase that little bit of margin by adopting the bigger picture. Because it's one thing to see it and be like, I probably could change that, but I ain't gonna do it. I got my own stuff going on. But guess what? It's not about you.
Not at all.
It's not about you, man. It's not about you. And,
I like that perspective about not like, we don't have a problem with the young men growing up, you know, in crime per se. We got a problem with having examples that teach them how to provide for themselves without going throughout the way of crime or leaning on that. And what that told me was you are treating, like, locking them up and throwing them in jail is like dealing with the symptoms of the matter, instead of like targeting the problem of the matter and getting down to the root of it. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
So we got go for it.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say, man, I want to leave us with some. I want us to leave with and leave here some practical practices. You know, and this, you know, the boring stuff that we don't want to do after we finish getting motivated and, you know what I'm saying, empowered.
If I could take the lead on this one, I got a little bit. just Facts. In general, when we looking at the idea of it's not about you, that's kind of a two-way street type of thing. It's not about you per se, but you do have a lot of control in your perspective of the situation. I think if we can strengthen the muscle of perspective and not being so reactive, because when you in a mix, you're in a mix. But if we could just work on not being so reactive and just get understanding and clarity, I think that'll kind of like make a difference. That'll make a difference automatically. Because some things happen and we just don't understand why. You don't understand the purpose of it, the reason for it. And sometimes it's God working and sometimes it's just people being people. But you got to understand, if you can at least understand that sometimes people just going to be people and nobody's perfect. Hey, you could just, I think that'll help you find grace for the situation to be able to process it better according to what the situation is. Yeah.
How can we do that though, Toe? How can we strengthen? What practical things can we do to strengthen our perspective or strengthen the habit of you know what I'm saying, just changing your perspective in a moment, I guess.
So me personally, I guess it just depends on it does vary. I think the being able to take a more passive approach, it just depends on the intensity of the situation. But if it's not nothing like, life or death in the moment, just first of all, ask yourself, like something that I do personally, if something happens, sometimes I ask myself, why is this happening?
Simple.
So I think that's something that's super duper powerful, because you get off of just you and you start to kind of think about, is it a purpose for this happening? Is it something that I did wrong? Did I put myself in the wrong place at the wrong time? Is it just this person? If this person, what they got going on, or whatever the situation is. So I think that's a good first step, is just to ask yourself, why is this happening? And then from there, be solution oriented. You know what I'm saying? Like, if something happened, charge it to the game, right? You dropped your phone and your phone broke and you pissed off because you just got it. Listen, charge it to the game. You're going to be mad about it, but being mad about it ain't going to fix the phone. Just bring it to Dr. Device and just, you know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
And then just, hey. So my thing is, I think that would be my first step. Just ask, why is the situation happening? And then just actually take the time to evaluate and just, and if you're in a conflictual situation, focus on de-escalating it first, because one thing for sure, two things for certain, I learned that it's never good to be, like, when you really, really pissed off, right? You're not thinking logically or critically. And another thing too, on the flip side of that, even being excited, like super duper excited and like overwhelmed with like excitement, that's not good either, because you're not thinking. You're really not thinking. You're not even taking advantage of your thought process. You're not thinking logically in either one of those extremes. They're polar opposites, but in a situation like that, just kind of slow it down, evaluate. If you're in a high intensity situation, just try to de-escalate. That's something. And listen, let me tell you something. It's not easy. Because I'll be battling with that too, de-escalating. So I'm talking to myself again, y'all.
Demons.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what I would start off with. What you think, Cole? What you got?
I think that's a simple but powerful thing. Inside of that, like, first of all, you got asking questions. That's literally can change it. Like, right? Ask, like, and then why, right? And what asking why does? Why is already within itself an unbiased question, right? Not even not because why is why, period.
Yeah.
Right. What you can't do though is allow your why to be like something that you took, like a personal you know what I'm saying? Like, it can't be something that had to come from them, but didn't come from them. You know what I'm saying?
I'm confused. I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, right. Okay. Because I'm going through it as I'm saying it, right? So basically, it cannot be a reason, like the reason that something happened if it's coming from somebody else, right? Mm-hmm. It can't be a reason that they had nothing to say about, like they didn't have a say in it, because they the one who did it. So you can't put your reason on that thing, right? And even if they did it, it can't be they did it because it was you. Like, if like it can't be like because of me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I did a horrible job of explaining that, but please feel me.
So I think simply said is like, if somebody offend you without knowing what their motivation for offending you was, don't place your own meaning on why they did what they did. In other words, speculate. Like, don't speculate why they did what they did, and don't necessarily take it because it was you, because you so important. Now this me adding this the spinach on the dip.
Yeah, because but I'm saying you gotta add that part that you was about to add, because people are like, we'll place a reason on it, but we missing a part of, like, you can't do that. Like, that has to come from them, because you can place a reason on a situation. You can do that. Right, even if they don't say it, you can still see through them and be like, oh, okay, they don't take baths. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can. What I'm trying to say is, I guess until you investigate and see the real issue, like, I don't know, I'm gonna figure out a better way to say that. But you know what I'm saying? But like, it can't be because you, like, it had to be something where it would have happened to anybody. And it can't be anything personal unless you've gotten a personal testimony or you've gotten personal experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't put a personal reason off of a broad understanding of something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Gotcha.
You know, my mama say I say, you know what I'm saying, a lot. I do say that. I do.
I think it's just a natural thing.
Yeah, for sure. But okay, back on track. So you ask why. It has to be a valid understanding with it, right? And the emotion thing, major. And I love how you added both sides. You can be like, 'cause sometimes we're excited and we think that excited is like, we think it's all positive, everything's great about that, just because we're excited, right? When that it can actually affect us negatively. You know, because we're making excited decisions on things we may need to be a bit more poised, right? And so, you know, make sure you are like kind of level-minded when you're making the decisions, of course. And when you're first beginning with that, it's going to be a process for you. You're not going to be able to do it right then and there. You know, you're going to have to be like, hey, give me like, okay, let me think about that. Okay, give me a second. Right, like me, man. When I used to be excited when I started getting business. They're like, hey, I need you to come fix my entire house Friday at 5. You can do it? Hell yeah, I can do it. I'll be there.
Just agreeing and shit.
Right. Just I'm there all day, right? And I got another appointment at 4:45, and I'm saying I'm gonna be there at 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? And I had to stop that by installing the habit of saying, even if I'm 99% sure I'm not good, I still gotta go check my calendar. I still gotta say, okay, give me a second, let me see if that works. You know, and and I put a lot of emphasis on the before thing, but the establishing what you're gonna do right in the middle of it is also equally as important. What you really still have to establish before the situation even comes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, asking questions.
If I have to add one more thing to that, man, yo, breathe. Like, breathing is a real thing. Like, that breathing is a real deal thing. Like, focus on you. Focus. And listen, I would even challenge you to go to like, if you getting this from us, great. And if you're getting it from us, then you probably already really working. You know what I'm saying? You probably already really working on yourself and stuff like that. But find some books, some audio books to listen to or to read that talk about emotional control, and just a book like Effective Communication by Thich Nhat Hanh. Just different things that kind of like teach you to be mindful. Just be more mindful, being present in the moment, and just work on yourself. Just work on yourself. Feed yourself. Yeah, man. That's how we are able to come up here, because we care. We care enough about. Oh, boom. All right. Care. Hear me out, y'all. You gotta care enough for the other person, whether you know them, like them or not. You have to care for the other person. You understand? Even if they wronged you.
Listen, you gotta care more than that.
If somebody wronged you or did something that you don't approve of, that pissed you off, that was just now listen, they may be capable of doing better. Don't miss it. That's just the best that they was able to do at that point in time, in that moment. That was the best. Whatever those contributing factors was, whether it was because they was high off emotion, whatever state of mind that they was in at that time, that was the best that they had to give. So care enough about them to not take it personal. Care enough about them to have respect for their position, for their peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? And then just try to understand. I'll leave it right there, Mr. Cool.
Yeah, man. I like that. I just I definitely want to say you say read books to fuel your understanding. But I find a lot of times you also need to fuel your inspiration. Because honestly, you need to actually care a little bit more than just the next person. You need to have enough care for the next person and the next person and the next person. And then after you finish caring for them, you got to go home and care about the people there. So feed your inspiration of, if you somebody who want to take that bigger approach and bigger view of things, right? If you want to put that on your back, because it is a task, and it can easily become a burden if you don't take care of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So take care of yourself by investing in yourself, but also invest in your inspiration while you're investing in your understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Do it.
Without further ado, too, take us out the game.
Without further ado, we just want to personally thank everybody for being here with us, everybody who was in attendance and who are attentive. We just want to personally thank y'all for being the best part of the FreeWill Podcast family. Thank y'all. We highly appreciate y'all. The followers, the subscribers, the commenters, the people who actually learn something, the people who contribute to what we bring here. Thank you for the experiences. Listen, we just want to thank all of y'all, knowingly and unknowingly, every single one of y'all who contribute to this platform, man.
Yeah.
Even the people in the future who we haven't even come across yet, that's gonna be a part of this journey with us. We want to thank y'all in advance. Just being grateful, man. Listen, we had another phenomenal episode, and I want to correct myself. It's not episode 24, it's episode 23. So I just wanted to make sure I corrected that. But man, we in the building, man, and we knocking them down, man. We are knocking them down. It's not 23 days, just days of episodes, but this is 23 weeks of episodes. So before you know it, we're gonna be knocking on a year again. And guess what? We need to have some. We need to be in a better, in a not a better place per se, a better place, but just a little bit further along in the journey with
Progress.
this thing. Progress. Boom.
Progress needs to happen.
But without further ado, man, thank y'all. You already know what it is. You ain't gotta ask what it was. Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of the FreeWill Podcast, and we will see you again next Friday, 8:30 Central Time. Don't just meet us there, Mr. Cole.
Beat us there, huh?
That's it, man. We gonna see y'all again on the next one. You dig?